So since we switched over to the disc brakes on this, I did have to cut the brake lines because of basically we went from drum brakes to disc brakes, and the old ones used to go down through that hole right there, and the new ones are going to go down right through here because where the bleeder is on the actual disc. But what we're going to do is we're going to join another brake line on probably all the way back here, and then run it down, connect it in with the new brake lines. But I'll show you guys how to do a double flare because all of these brake lines require a double flare, so I might as well show you guys how to do them. They're not that difficult. Yes, it takes some practice. Yes, I even screw up a lot of double flares, mostly because I forget to put the fittings on. I'll probably do that a couple times today, and if I do, I'll post a video of me freaking out doing it because usually I get pretty upset. But what we're going to do is run front brake lines, driver and passenger, and then we're going to probably run brake lines on the rear axle itself. So let's get started. So to do a double flare on your brake lines, what you got to do is you use this tool here that comes with the brake line kit. This is just right from Napa. I'm pretty sure this thing cost me like $29 like 7 years ago. But there's the part number if you want, if you can read that. 58201. It's just your universal brake flare kit. So first thing you do is you cut this square. By using the cutter tool, it actually provides a pretty square cut. Next thing you do is you flip up this back arm here. And you clean out the inside. Now why you do this is because if there's a burr on the inside, it's going to affect everything. So clean it out. Next is you loosen this tool here, which is just your flaring kit tool. Put it in the flare side. Tighten it down just a bit. Now what you're going to want is the die that goes inside of there. And as you can see, you see the different couple steps on the back side of this? You're going to want to bring the brake line to the bottom step. So what we're going to do is we just put it on there like that. As you can see, it's not to the bottom step yet, so what we're going to do is we're just going to jiggle it a bit. Right to the bottom step. Right there, that's good. Tighten this down. Now as you can see, they're lined up pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tighten this tool right down. This side first, and then you tighten this side for leverage. Just excuse me, I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on it. There you go. So now the next step is insert your die. Just put it in there. Take this clamp tool, which is the press. Slide it over. Put it on there. Now what you want is you want to get that die pretty damn close to being square. So if you take a look, it looks just about square on the end of there. Now make sure your clamp is tight. Take in your arm and you just tighten this down all the way till it bottoms out. So let me just do that here. Just like that. Now, because it's pressed on itself, usually this is in there pretty tight, so I just take a pair of wire cutters, apply some even pressure all the way around, wiggle and jiggle, and then she just pops right out. And then reassign this tool in there. Just like so. Now what you put the tool back in there for is just to give that double bubble a little bit of an inward kink. You just want a little bit of force, not a lot. Remove it. And there you go. As you can see, that is a nice double bubble flare brake line. Now, if any of you guys are smart and you realized, I forgot to put this on. Now, me being the type of guy I am, is going to forget to put this on quite a bit. So, it's not so bad when you have a single line like this. What you do is you just cut off the other end square, and you can slide it all the way on. But now if you're doing it on the vehicle, or say if you already have a flare on one side, you can't do this. So, I guess I skipped step number one, which is always make sure the fitting is on there. So we're just going to run this fitting around. Boom! Now all you guys know how to do a bubble flare. As you can see, it's nice and pretty on the inside. She's lined up with it. Now we can start installing this brake line. Look how perfect that bubble flare is right there. Let me get a closer look at that. What a beautiful bubble flare. Oh, wait a minute. What is that missing? Oh my goodness! Why does this always happen? I knew that I was going to do this at least once today. So let's cut off this really nice bubble flare and put the fitting back on there. Fuck. I knew this was going to happen. Okay, so we've got the new brake lines ran, but over here, the master is broken off. Sorry, the bleeder is broken off from the wheel cylinder. I didn't do it, but it was broken off when I got it. I've drilled it out. I've went and bought easy outs. I've tried to get it out, and I can't. So come Monday, because today's Sunday, I'm going to head into town and buy a new brake cylinder for both of these rear axles that will just avoid that. But I do have all the brake lines ran right to there. I did have to use the old fittings because they were different thread count than the new fittings I bought. And I was able to change out this bleeder, but you know what? While I'm at it, I might as well just buy 2 wheel cylinders and get them put in. And that will bypass any problems I'm going to have. So that's the end of the brake lines ran. I did contact the gentleman I bought this truck off of, and he told me it was one of the front wheel cylinders that is the reason it had no brakes. But because I now have disc brakes in the front, I do not need to worry about that. So I'm super happy about all the brake lines being ran and just 2 wheel cylinders, and brakes are ready to be bled. So that's a big thumbs up on that job. Glad it's out of the way.